Hi, Clarity Group. It's Carmen. So today we are talking about how to filter out people that you may or may not or should not work with. And I'm going to give you some step-by-step tips about this. I'm going to give it a minute. I'm going to make sure that we get somebody on here so I can check volume and make sure that you guys can hear me okay. And then hopefully I'm going to save you guys some time. And maybe give you some things that you haven't thought about that are going to help to make your business more efficient, help to maybe save on some frustration when it comes to working with specific people. So when you get on, give me a thumbs up or say hello. And if you're listening to the replay, give me some information in the comments about what you're doing with your business that you feel like you could do differently after hearing what I'm talking about today. So we're also going to talk a little bit about how to weed out, what I call the brain pickers. And we've talked about this in the past, but it's a little bit of like a step-by-step on how I started doing this in the first place and how it's so effective. Hi, April. Hi, Lori. Hi, Wendy. Hey, you guys. Okay, so this is, so I will say this, if you are a student, if you are a member of the mastery group, you have all of these documents at your fingertips, okay? Don't ask me where you can buy them. You already have them when I'm talking about them, okay? So if you are not a student or a member, our special ends today. So I'll share information in the links for you guys in the comments about that. But let's talk about this, because here's the thing. As health coaches, if you are going into a one-on-one process, which most of us do, when we first get started, we're like, I just want to help people. I just want to walk them through, whatever's going on with them. I want to help them get well. But part of the problem when we do one-on-ones is the emotional and sometimes physical and mental burnout, right? Because we get face-to-face, and I've talked about this many, many times. It's going to be repetition for a lot of people, but when we get face-to-face with them, it's very easy to take on their energy, take on their issues, absorb their stuff like a sponge, feel like we have to give more. When they start to cry, we start to feel sorry for them. We can overextend ourselves emotionally. We can overextend ourselves mentally. Physically, we can give them more time than we're asking to be paid for. Been there, done that, okay? How many times I cannot tell you that I've sat across from someone and said, with the purest of intentions, that I'm only going to do an hour, consultation, and the next thing I know, 2 hours later, I'm getting someone to go pick my kid up from school because I'm still talking to this person because I feel bad for them. All right, so what I figured out through years and years, and for those of you who are new to me, 10 years of health coaching coming up on my anniversary here, I've learned a lot of hard lessons, and one of those is that it was really easy for me to try really hard to take care of other people while putting myself on the back burner, energetically and mentally and emotionally. And one of the reasons was because I thought I had to, and I hate this word, but a lot of people use it, hustle. To keep clients, to get clients, I had to give them everything. I even remember saying things like this: whatever you need, whenever you need me, text me, call me, email me, I'm here for you. Okay, well, that would have been good and fine if I was married to these people, or I was their spouse, or their mother, or their partner, but I was their health coach, and I was extending myself beyond the point of comfort even for me. And then I was starting to get bitter, and I was starting to wonder how in the world is going to keep this up. So with that said, that's where the process and all of the forms and all of my training and the actual step-by-step process that I created came up with. It was out of complete and total burnout. So I see a bunch of people popping on. Hi, Anisha and Tony. Hi, Mohita. Hi, Sandy. So you guys put in the comments, if anything I talk about, if it resonates with you, put it in the comments. I want to know that I'm speaking to your issues here or things that you've experienced in the past. Hopefully if you're a student or you've been in my groups for a while, then you know what, can make things easier. So let's start out let's start the process. Let us say that someone comes to us and they want to hire us, okay? Step one, free consultation, right? We all know this. It's not a meet and greet. It's not a get to know you. It's not a health history. That's really putting yourself in the danger zone. It's a free consultation to figure out if this is going to be a good relationship, if you can help meet their needs, if they can be someone that you want to work with, if they are someone that's committed to change. A 15 to 20-minute conversation is going to show you a lot about somebody. It's going to tell you, and this is done on the phone, but it's going to tell you whether or not this person is really just trying to get free information from you. Are they serious about change? Are they married to their lifestyle? Are they open? Do they have an open mind about something that might be better for them? You're going to hear a lot about that in a very short conversation. Okay, so that's the first part of this, is scheduling the free consultation. And you can do this through email if you're brand new and you don't have a lot of money to budget into a scheduling program. It's not necessary. But if you are kind of on your way, but you're ready for something that's going to make things easier for you, then use a scheduling program. Acuity, Calendly, any of those things will work, okay? So have them set that up. Make sure it's only like maybe 2 days a week that you have windows of time blocked aside for free consultations. So you want to be able to be building your business while you're doing these free consultations. So if you just take free consults at any given time, that's going to interrupt your creative process. It's going to interrupt maybe picking up your kids or family time or personal things or areas of your business that you're trying to concentrate on. So never just leave it wide open for free consultations. So it might look something like this. So every Monday from 9 till 12, you have 15 to 20 minute time slots in the middle there. And then you have a 10-minute buffer. So you can pee, get some coffee, get some tea, whatever it is, take a deep breath. So make sure that when you do this, you give yourself enough time to take a break. Do not sit in a chair and do back-to-back free consults for hours on end. That sucks. I can tell you that it sucks. Do not do free consultations in person, because once you get personal with someone, you're more apt to stick around for much longer. You're more apt to give them more information. It's going to be very hard to ask for money if you personally know someone before you do that part, okay? Don't put yourself in that position. So you want to be an active listener when you're doing free consultations, and you want to do something that seems very, and I've done a whole training on this. There's a training that exists on the entire process, but you basically want to say, you know what, we've got about 15 to 20 minutes. And I want to hear exactly what you're dealing with, what you're struggling with, where I might be able to support and help you. So just give me about a 5-minute little, free conversation, like a free speaking, and tell me about what brought you to me. And so then you just be quiet and you sit and you actively listen. And what you do is you get a story. And that person might say, well, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to begin. There's so much wrong. Okay, well, let's just start with the very first thing that happens in the morning. Like, tell me about your day. Do you have pain? Are you dealing with, just get them started with something, but let them take over the conversation. When's the first time you remember having this problem? That kind of thing. So you're basically just asking questions. You're not diagnosing or telling them anything's wrong with them. You're just trying to get them to find a starting point. All right, you're wrapping up the call, okay? You wrap up the call by, say, midway through, you're talking and you're saying, wow, you know what? You got a lot of stuff here, but that's okay. It's nothing I haven't dealt with before. Or, these are new things and we can learn about them together, or whatever your experience is, okay? So then you would say, we've got about 5 minutes left. So let me take a minute and kind of go through what to expect. It sounds like you've got some things going on that I really would love to help you with. I know that we can get you feeling much better and, lead you into some more, some optimal health in different ways. So let me tell you a little bit how this works. And then you run through it. Say, when we hang up today, I'm going to make sure that I have your email correct. And I'm going to send you a fees and services page and an intake form. Now, on the fees and services page, I want you to read through it thoroughly. I want you to make sure you're comfortable with the decision you make on which program or which service you want to hire me for. And at the very end, I really want you to take a look at the last page, because on the last page, it tells you what to expect from working with me. This is something I drive home. I beat it like a dead horse, you guys. I do. I beat it like a dead horse, because this is the part that is going to help you filter out the people that you want to work with and the ones that are serious about change. So on the what to expect from working with me, I've read it. I've read it 100 times. It's about, it basically is me saying, change takes commitment, and it's not always, it can be financially difficult. There are things that you're going to have to make decisions about. If you're married to your current lifestyle, then I'm not the coach for you. It's a very lengthy paragraph. And one of the reasons that I created that was because I was getting people that were not committed to change. They wanted me to tell them what to eat. They complained about the money, after a couple of weeks in. They tried to sabotage themselves. There were so many things going on in people's mindset about making changes. It was exhausting. And so for me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to head this off at the very beginning. I no longer choose to work with people who care less about themselves than I care about them. And that's in my page. It says, if I care more about you than you care about yourself, this relationship will not work. And so in the what to expect from working with me, you get to put down basically who you want to work with. And when you do that, when you put that in writing and you put that out to the world, the people that want to work with you and that are committed to change and commitment to themselves, they're going to find you. So When you do that, you guys, you're drawing those people to you and you're pushing away the people that you don't want to work with. So the filtering process is free consultation, have a conversation. The next step is fees and services and the intake form. Now let's just say this, let's do two scenarios. One scenario is this. They want to work with you. They pick that they want to do a 3-month contract, which is what I recommend. Those of you that know me well. 6 months is too long. And they pick a 3-month contract and they fill out the intake form and they send it back to you. Okay, that's a client that's ready to go. Now, whether it takes a day or a week to get it back to you, it doesn't matter. They fill out a 26-page intake form, which is what I've created and it's what I've used for years and years now, and what my students use and my members of the Mastery Group use. At least I hope they are. If they're not, they're wasting time. Then they say, you know what? How do I pay you? So you can either invoice them or they can pay you through Stripe or however you do your merchant services. It's different for everyone. That's a serious client. Here's the not serious client. Okay, you follow up with them, you know, and I do believe in a follow-up email that says, did you receive everything? Did you get the intake form? And did you get the fees and services? And do you have any questions? You hear back from them. Yes, I received the intake form. I received the fees and services. Thank you so much. You're either going to get I'm working on filling it out now, or you're going to get something along the lines of, I need some time to review this with my spouse, something like that. If you don't get the fees and services form and the intake form back, within a couple of days, a follow-up is not a terrible thing, just to make sure that they don't feel confused about it. But I don't chase clients. That's one thing I don't do. I don't believe in chasing a client because here's the thing. If they are not committed to taking 15 to 20 minutes or whatever it looks like to filling that form out and sending it back to you so they can get started on their life, then they're probably not going to follow through with any of the suggestions or very minimal action steps that you send their way. So getting the form back tells you this person is serious about change. Now, here's one little caveat about that. One little thing that you might keep an eye out for is someone who returns the intake form too quickly. So that is also a little bit of a red flag for me. I've got an intake forms back where I've sent them back and I've said, I don't think we have enough information here. You sent that back to me in less than 10 minutes. I need you to sit down and spend some time with yourself. I need you to sit down and commit to yourself that you're going to fill this intake form out in totality so that we can be more efficient together. The more that you fill this out, the more information that I have ahead of time, the more work we're going to get done and the more decisions you're going to make that feel good to you. So I have actually done that before where I've said, I can't work with you unless I know more information. So when you get that information back on that intake form and you get they pay you, they've decided they want to work with you for 3 months, you get the intake form back, you review the intake form, you then set your appointment. I've had time to review the intake form. I'd like to go ahead and set you down on the calendar for this date. There's your client, okay? The ones that are not getting back to you with the form and the ones that are not answering you on which service they want, and they're picking their nose about getting back to you, or they're dragging their feet, or whatever it is that shows you that they're not ready to take action, these are not the people you want to work with. Because during the relationship of someone like that, you are going to be literally pulling information out of them, feeling like you have to follow up. Did you do the action steps? Did you, how are things going right now today? Well, I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to tomorrow. How are you doing with the gluten-free eating? Well, I haven't started that yet. Okay. How's the magnesium working for your cramps? Well, I haven't really ordered it yet. You're going to get a lot more of that. So freaking frustrating when that happens. I can tell you that right now. So let me go back over here. I want to scroll over and just make sure there are no questions. Hi, everybody. Okay, lots of hellos, lots of greetings here. Yeah, hearing the pattern, I did it too, and then self-guilt. Anna says yes. So hey, amazing woman, Tony, you guys are great. So here's the thing. Is the last thing I want you to do as a health coach is feel guilty about someone else's failure to do what they need to do. It's not your problem. If they're not taking action, it's not your fault. If they don't reach their goals and you've done everything you're supposed to do, that's not your fault. But when you get clients into your business, right? When you sign on a potential client and they are not willing to do the work and you start worrying more and caring more about them than they do themselves, what's going to happen? Here's a couple things that are going to happen. No action steps or very little will be taken. They're going to drag their feet. They're going to start canceling appointments on you. Know it. That's going to happen. You're going to start seeing excuses. Well, my husband doesn't want me to continue this. And then they're going to cancel the contract and you've been holding space the entire time for them. Okay. So we want to avoid all of that because that's mental and emotional and physical space that you're holding for those people. And it's okay to tell them that. So even in your what to expect from working with me or in your fees and services, you can even have a little, thing that they sign, or even in your client agreement. Because my client agreement basically tells them, if you don't do the work and I don't want to work with you anymore, then I have the right to fire you with a cancellation fee or let you go. But if I'm not doing what you need me to, then you can let me go too. See, there has to be that mutual respect. And that is this, is the client makes the decisions and the client is the one that takes action. The client is accountable to themselves. The coach is there to inspire them, empower them, give them resources and information, and end the overwhelm and calm them down about the process. You're not over here doing all of the pieces they're supposed to be doing. Of course, at least you shouldn't be. And if you are, please stop, because that's their job. So when we start taking those pieces from the client, like, oh, you weren't able to do that with it. Okay, well, let me do that for you. I'll fill it out for you and I'll send it back to you. No, because when you do that, you're taking away that opportunity for them to learn about why they need to make these changes. So let me see here. Let me scroll down, make sure there's no questions. Yeah, the whole thing is so relevant. We give it at our own expense way too often. And I don't do that anymore, and I won't do that anymore. And that is, again, it's the boundaries issue, guys. We break our own boundaries, and then we expect people to hold up their own. So when we're working with clients, when we are giving them, we're giving them the advice that they need, if their spouse is not supporting them or whatever, and we're over here saying, you know what, it's okay if your spouse doesn't want to support what you're doing, you stay on task and take care of yourself. But then we're over here breaking our own boundaries by trying to be more supportive of them. It's not really setting a good example, and it's not good for your business either, right? Okay, yeah, so just need to hear all this today. Not so much babysitting, no babysitting, just supporting. So if you're holding your client's hand, let go. If you're babysitting, stop. If you're taking responsibility for their success, stop doing that. It's not your place to do so. And when you do that, you're not allowing them to grow and change the way that they need to. The other thing is this, is if there is someone that is sucking the life out of you, and it happens, you guys, it's happened to me many times. You don't just have to, first of all, I don't want you to feel guilty about saying, this is just not working for me. This is just not working. Some of the dialogue that you can use here when you're trying to so-called sever or cancel a contract, or maybe take a break from a relationship, might be something like this. Okay, so we're in our second month together, and I have to tell you that I've gone through and I've looked at your intake form, and I've kind of scrolled through some of our communication by email, since you're supporting them by email. And I don't know, I guess I'm feeling a little bit like there's some hesitancy for you to take action. So can we talk about that a little bit? I want to unpack that a little bit. So on our next consultation, that's paid for. Don't just hop on the phone and have an intimate conversation while they're not moving forward. You need to charge for your phone calls, okay? But next time we do our consultation, let's go ahead and move it closer to this date. And let's talk about this, because what I don't want to happen is I don't want you to be giving me this money and not getting results. It's not good for you, and it's not good for me either. I want the testimonial that you've got your life back. I want to know that I've been able to help you. And it feels very defeating to me as your coach when I'm giving you all of the resources I think that you need, and you're not taking action. So one of the things that you may want to say to someone in that situation is, why aren't you taking action? What's stopping this? Do we need to investigate any of this? What's the holdup? Why are you sabotaging yourself? Is there someone else that's doing it? Were you 100% honest on your intake form? This is a good place in a consultation or in a call to try and figure out why it is that someone's put the blocks up, or the mindset issues in that are not allowing them to take care of themselves. Here's the thing you have to remember. Again, you can't care more about someone than they care about themselves. It will never work. It's just like, trying to change somebody. If you work so hard on trying to change somebody else, you are avoiding growing yourself. You are avoiding working on the things in your life that need work or help. You're not able to build your business. You're too worried about what Mary is doing over here, and you think it's your responsibility and your fault. That takes your focus away from your business. Okay, is this all making sense to you guys? Yeah. So the thing is, this is one of the things I have to push home too. I gotta take a drink of this electrolyte thing because my mouth is dry. But here's the thing, and if any of you haven't tried this, it's really good. Okay, really yummy. It's left over from class today. And no, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. It's just something I'm trying that's different. So this is the thing that you have to remember, is when people don't succeed and they don't take action and they don't see results, you don't get testimonials. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. If you continue to work with people and you feel badly about letting them go and you don't know how to do it and it's just so hard, you need to be comfortable with the fact that these people are not going to give you the testimonials that you need to get more business. I believe in a referral-based business. I think that marketing is, of course, it's absolutely going to be, you gotta do ads, you do marketing. Sometimes you gotta, some of that stuff is necessary. But once people start running their mouths and talking about how great you are, that's the majority of where you're going to get your business. But you can't get those if people aren't actually taking action and getting things done for themselves, right? So, all right, does anybody have questions? You guys have any questions about any of this? Let me see here. Great tips, thank you. We can't care more about them if they don't care enough. Yeah, never try to care more about them than they do about themselves. And you can use that phrase. Say, I feel like I'm more concerned about you than you are about your own health. And that's not a good place for me to be. That's another thing you can say, is say, as your coach, I really, invest emotionally and physically and mentally into my clients because I care so much about you. But when it feels like I'm the one that's taking this on and I'm worried about you and I'm losing my sleep at night on whether or not you're getting results or you've gotten your labs back or you're doing what you should do, that's not healthy for me either, right? And it's okay to put that boundary up for them. It's okay to let them know that. So, yep. Okay. So Jill is saying, I love this. I have someone like this right now. We had the conversation last session. I believe it was a breakthrough. I always have to keep that in mind. I can't help them if they don't make an effort. That's 100% correct. 100%. You can't help them if they're not willing to help themselves. I was just reading this quote this morning. Before you can be chosen, you need to choose yourself first. 100%. Yes, absolutely. So you guys get this. And yes, it is exhausting. It is exhausting. And the other thing is this, and then I'm going to wrap up, is if you don't have a system in place, you guys, you got to get one. If you do not have a system in place, a literal stamped approach, I'm not talking about a cookie cutter health coach approach. I'm talking about the templates you need to glide easily from one appointment into the next till you get to that very last final appointment where you get the testimonials. You better get one in place, because if you don't, if you cannot be consistent with your general approach, you're going to be spinning your wheels and wasting your time, because right in the middle sometimes of a relationship or a client, a client contract, if you don't have the next step in place that shows inconsistency, it makes them feel like they're uncertain about where they're going next or what the next step is to your relationship. And not only that, but they may expect you to give them a step-by-step, a meal planning or supplements to take or whatever. They may need you to be more specific. Instead, you can have those things in place, have that intake process in place, and you get to tell them what comes next. So at the end of say an hour and a half long session for the first session, right? You may say something like, we have covered so much ground today. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to fill this form out. I know it was a lot of information, but it helped me tremendously to be prepared for today. Here's our next steps. I'm going to recap what we talked about today. I literally, I find a piece of paper here. I go through and I go, all right, so right here, I'm going to send you some information about Hashimoto's. Right here, I'm going to send you a link where you can find a new doctor and you can pick someone that you might feel works better for you. We also talked a little bit over here about bringing your daughter in to this process as well, because she may have Hashimoto's. Whatever it may look like, but you literally go through the intake form and you just touch on the things that you want to make sure that they know that you've got their back on. And then you say, so once I get back to the office, maybe tomorrow, maybe, give me about 24-hour turnaround time, maybe a little more, whatever's comfortable for you guys. I'm going to type up your resources and your recommendations. I'm going to keep it very underwhelming for you. So I might send you 2 resources on Hashimoto's. I might send you a resource on vitamin D. All you're required to do with this is whatever feels best to you. It's education for you. And my 3-step model, education, preparation, and action, that's what I've created. But, in the first part of it, you're like, we're in an education process right now. So you understand why you're doing these things. I want you to be fully understanding why these changes are significant and important, because you're the one that's taking action. I can't make you do anything. This is all up to you. When you use language like that, you're letting them know you're in charge of you. I'm just over here to help you out. I'm over here to end the overwhelm. I'm over here to support you. Okay. So that kind of language is really helpful. Then you wrap it up and you say, please let me know when you receive the resources and recommendations. As a reminder, you've got email support from me for the next 3.5 weeks till we meet again. If you wanted to add a phone call on, I do have an a la carte phone call, $45 for 35 minutes or whatever you want to do. You guys don't use that as your own. I mean, you can if you want, but make sure that all of your time is accounted for. And then you say, let's go ahead before we wrap up today and let's get our next appointment on the calendar. Because it's a 3-month contract, I want to make sure that we don't miss that window, because in that time frame, there are things that you're going to be working on. So if we get to the next appointment and you haven't taken any action, it really disrupts the process. Done. Coaching is easy. Health coaching is so easy. It's so simple. And if we keep complicating this and we keep trying to make ourselves look like this, this expert that knows everything about all of a specific disease or a problem or whatever, and we're more worried about what it looks like we know, we are complicating health coaching. We're putting ourselves in a gray area, okay? Have a system. Tell your people that are coming to you what to expect by working with you. Put it on a form before they even sign up with you. The last thing that I want to tell you that you can do is you can say, what I expect, what I expect from you, okay? What I expect from you as a client. So you can do what to expect from working with me as your coach, and underneath that you can type up something that says what I expect from you. And yes, I'm in the process of creating a template for that. It's probably going to be the new year before I get it for students, but and mentorship members. But it would be something like this. I expect you to care deeply about yourself. I expect you to tell me what feels good and what doesn't. I expect you to take full responsibility for the decisions and the choices that you make. I expect you to tell me if I'm not giving you enough support or resources to work on and take action on. These are just ideas, you guys, okay? But when you tell them what to expect or what you expect from them, that's a 2-part filter. So they know what to expect from you. You know what to expect from them. You both go into this relationship knowing that the end goal is that that person is taking care of themselves and you're just there to help them do it. Doesn't that make sense? Like I don't understand why health coaching gets so complicated, but we're not doctors. We aren't practitioners. We aren't, some of you may be. Actually, we've gotten quite a few students that are practitioners that are moving into doing online work and getting out of the medical field because it's so restrictive and they're not getting what they need financially, and they're not being able to do what they want to do with people. So coming to the Institute for Functional Health Coaching actually teaches them, the general approach way and a consistent way to do this, you guys, and help anyone. So, and this way you don't have to turn anyone away either. So if you're focused on a specific niche, one niche, and that's the only way you're going to go, you are limiting yourself. Open up the doors to everyone. You can help anyone. You got to be crafty with your marketing and make sure that people know who you're talking to. But why would you turn away someone with leaky gut and only work with people with rheumatoid arthritis? It's all combined. It all matters. It's all tied together, right? Okay. All right. So let's see here. Let me look here if there's questions before I wrap up. So here I am, squinting. Someone needs to hold up a flashcard that says, put on your glasses. All right, on testimonies, you ask for them for your website, Facebook page, or Google review, a combination of all of the above. So all of the above, Corinne. So here's the thing. I don't ask for it for anything specific, but if I would say to them, you know what I would love? I would love a video testimonial with your first name and your last initial. And if that would be fantastic, because you can use those for ads. You can use those on your website. You can embed them as a video onto your website. You can put them in an email when you're trying to, talk to your warm audience. And then also some ones that are just written are really powerful too. So you're going to have those people. I have a testimonial template that's part of my intake process. The final form is a testimonial request. So there are people that aren't going to be interested in doing a video. It makes them nervous. I mean, they're just not going to do it. So those are the people you're going to get those written testimonials by. They don't necessarily have to give a picture, but it's helpful. Even just the first name without the last initial is fine. It's up to their comfort level. And on your testimonial request form, put that down there. Would you like me to use, do you have a picture I can use? Or do you want to just use your first name? Would you prefer to remain anonymous? Whatever. But make sure they're comfortable with it and that you have a testimonial form that they filled out, that they're agreeing to let you use those things. Okay? Yeah. So let's see here. Me too, need to break through. Okay, yeah. Need no breakthrough here, need to back off. I'm not sure what that means. Lori, I have 2 people right now who I know I could help, and they both started the conversation with, I have no money. Okay, that's a money mindset issue on their part, and that's, I'm not going to say the S word, but that's bull. Everybody has money somewhere. It's where do you choose to put it? Where are you putting your money? So if someone starts the conversation up with, I have no money, then my thing would be like this. Okay, so here's the thing. Let me challenge you here. I'm going to give you something to think about. You're going to pay a doctor, chiropractor, orthopedic, whatever, And it's in some form or fashion, and you're going to end up paying for a prescription at some point. If you are very unwell and you don't feel good and you know that your health could be better, you will end up paying somewhere, whether it's an insurance copay or a prescription or whatever. But here's what I'm going to teach you. If you work with me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know so that when you have anything that happens to you in the future, you don't automatically first thing go to a doctor. You don't automatically first thing go and get labs. You're going to say, okay, so Lori taught me that this could be causing this. I need to back off on this and I need to try this. I remember her telling me that. You're going to teach them sustainable changes. So I always say, okay, choose, you can pay the doctor or you can pay me. I think you prefer to pay me. I'm a lot more fun. I'm available. I'm going to give you everything you need, and I'm not going to give you 15 minutes of my time. So I don't have a problem with that kind of conversation, though. It's going to be different for everybody. I'm very forward. I'm type AAA personality. I'm assertive. I know I can help you. I know what I'm doing. I have a lot of confidence in my business and what I do. So it depends on your personality and how you want to word things and how you are able to kind of, get away from that or move away from that conversation. But that's how I would start it. I have no money. Yeah, you've got money. I bet they have pretty fingernails and they have colored hair too, right? Or maybe they're wearing Lululemon, but they don't have any money. So that is the one thing. And I'm not judging anyone that says that, because I've been that way before, but I no longer do that. I don't ever say, I don't have any money. We all have these moments that come in that make us feel like, we absolutely struggle financially. We have things that come in and we're like, oh God, that's awful. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe to pay for that or whatever. But to say I have no money or I'm broke or anything like that, that's just telling the world that you don't want any money either. So, and you can tell them, listen, we'll work on that money mindset of yours too, because that's a part of health. If you don't think that you have what you need, that could be affecting your health as well. And we're going to work on that too. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Good information. You're welcome. You're welcome, you guys. Yes. So the thing is this, I want you guys to start coaching and stop worrying so much about, what you're saying. If you're saying the right thing, if you're doing the right thing, if someone is, getting well, or if they, or if you feel guilty. I think we are just putting way too much weight on someone giving us validation that we're doing our job right. Stop looking for those clients to tell you how great you are. Tell yourself how great you are. Set your business up the way that you want it to be set up. Bring those people that want to help themselves to you, because when they come to you, you're going to feel more validated and get more reward out of watching these people take care of themselves and make changes than you ever would chasing these people that have no money, that, well, I just can't do it right now, or I thought I had 3 weeks to change this. Excuses, excuses, done. The more excuses someone has, the sicker they're going to get, right? Okay. All right, you guys, I hope that was helpful for you. Yeah, and this will, this is going to live in this page. I think they leave it up for 24 or 48 hours. So put some comments in there and tell me if you have a system. If you don't, you need one, and tell me if there's anything you want to talk about. And go in the comments, tell me anything you want me to do some training on. I've got a couple more trainings every week. I'm going to be bringing this kind of stuff to you guys to give you some ways to build your business that actually feels good to you, and, helps you to help more people. So have a fantastic Monday, everybody.